Series, till now we have covered data types, variables, operators, and iteration statements, also the pattern printing programs mainly using nested loops. And today we will be learning what is arrays. Imagine I have a student list who must stand in a particular row. So what I'll do, I'll just create a variable which will store number of students in a particular row, right? Now what I'll do, if I have two rows, then I'll create a variable called as variable A, which will contain 10 students, right? For example, it may be like this. Int A equals to 10 students, right? Similarly, in the second row, that is, I'll name it as B equal to 20 students, right? Now, if I have 100 students, or if I have even more than that, then will I be creating 100 variables which will contain all the number of students? No. This way is totally wrong. No, this way is totally wrong. I cannot create a students till 100 and till 100. In such case, this is not called as a programming. So I will make use of arrays, right? So how will I use arrays? Now you might be wondering what is an array. Now this is your table with one row and 5 columns, right? So in the first row, I'll keep 10 students. Next in the second row, I'll keep 20 students. Similarly, in the third row, I'll keep 30 students, and then 40 and 50, right? Now, I will name this array as A, right? So, this array is containing the number of students list who need to stand in a particular row. Now what I'm doing here using array, instead of creating a separate 100 variables and storing the student list, I'm just creating a single variable. I'm just creating a single array which will contain all the student details. The number of student details will contain in this array, right? Now, which means that in the first row, 10 students need to be standing. In the second row, 20 students need to be standing. So this is my goal. And how will I access the array? Only by using the index. Index is nothing but the position of an array. Always remember, the index of an array starts from 0, not from 1. If I ask you the size of the array, then it is nothing but the number of elements present in an array. So don't get confused between the index and the number of elements. Number of elements will always starts with 1, right? Number of elements will start with 1. So in this array, I can tell that number of elements are 5. That is, size of array is 5. Clear? Now, if I want to extract the position of these 5 elements, it can be done using this index. Clear? And always remember, index is extracted using index is always extracted from 0. So, array of 0, that is array of 0. The index must be provided in a square braces, right? Array of 0 is equal to 10. Similarly, array of 1, that is A of 1. What is this A? A is the array name. So, array of 1 is equal to 20, right? Hope it is visible here, right? So, this is my first index. This is my 0th index, and this is my 4th index, right? This is second, this is third, and finally this is 4. Don't get confused between the index and the number of elements. And whenever you want to find the size of the array, you can either use the default function, that is length, which is a default function to find the size of the elements, size of the array or number of elements. Using array will reduce the time. Instead of rewriting the variables manually for more than 100 times, you can just use array, which will reduce the time. Now this is an array of just 5 elements. Even I can create an array of more than 5 elements as well, right? Now here you see how to extract the element of an array. It can be done using index of an array. That is, it starts with 0, right? And whenever you are extracting the index, you have to always start with 0, because if you start with 1, then the control will go towards the second element, that is 20. It will not go towards the first element. In that case, the first element, that is array of 0, is 10. This will get ignored. So always make sure that whenever you are extracting the value of array, you have to always start with the 0. Start with the initial index, that is 0, not 1. And to find the length of array, if you are not using this particular function, you can use it manually as well. How you will use it manually? Here I have declared a 5 elements explicitly. Now if I want to take the element, if I want to enter the input from the user, then in such case I have to declare, what will I do? In such case, like I have to declare the size of element specifically in the program, right? So how is it done? The syntax we follow is int, right? Int followed by a square braces, then followed by a array name equal to new int of the number of variables. Now this is the syntax of array. Any data type followed by a square braces, clear, then marks is nothing but the array name. Here the array name is A, but here the array name is marks, clear. Assignment operator and then new keyword which will create a new array. Again the data type. Always remember, whatever data type you are creating here, the same data type must be used, and the number of elements is 5, right? So this is the syntax of a array. Here what I am doing in this case, when I am explicitly declaring it as a 5, in such case I have to always enter 5 elements. If I declare it if I assign it as 6, then I have to enter 6 elements, right? If you try to enter more than the specified, for example here it is 5, right? If you try to enter more than 5, then you will get a error telling that array index out of bound exception. Now let us see all this in a program. This is the array program. Here I have created an array of which contains 5 elements. Now I haven't assigned the array length here, but I haven't assigned the array length. In such case, the length will be automatically taken as 5, right? Now in this for loop, I am trying to extract the element of an array. Here when I is 0, it will enter the loop I less than or equal to array dot length. Now what is array dot length? It is 5. So it will check for the condition, and array of 0 means it will be pointing towards the first element, right? First element, that is 10. Let me run the output and show you how exactly it works. Yes, here if you see, array of 0 is the first element which will print 0. Next I gets incremented, so array of 1 means 20, so 20 gets printed. Similarly array of 3 is 30, and array of 4 is 40, and finally array of 5, that is array of 5 is 50. This is how it gets printed. Here if you notice, we have started with 0, clear, and 0 less than or equal to array dot length means the condition would be like this: 0 less than 5. It will start with 0 and end with 4th iteration, clear. That is, totally it will run 5 iterations starting from 0, right? If you want to start with 1 itself, if you want to start the iteration with 1 instead of 0, in such case you have to give as I equal to 1. In such case, this gets ignored. Yes, here if you see, as I mentioned, the first element 10 get ignored. So I equal to 1, since array index always begins with 0. Since it always begins with 0, we have to explicitly provide it as I equal to 0. And here it is providing us 20, 30, 40 and 50, right? Now let me execute it. It will include 10 in its console. 10 to 50, all the elements are included, right? So this is about arrays. In the next video, we will learn more about indexing and for each loop. Thank you.